I wish everyone a very good morning. Lovely to see you. A lovely morning. And let's begin. So, I am Shufali Janeja. I am a communication coach and a soft skills trainer by profession. I'm working with SAR Education, obviously. I am a SELDA certified trainer from Cambridge University. I help people to uncover the potential, especially in terms of communication standpoint in high powered forums, right? So let me just share my screen and we begin. All right. So the topic that I've picked up today is getting it right, but that's very vague. So what are we going to get right? Let's see that. So to move ahead, I would just talk about, we will begin with English. I'm sure we're all good in English, but there are a few places that we feel reluctant, we feel hesitant, we feel uncomfortable, we're not confident, there's hesitation, there are some fears. I help you overcome that today, right? And after the session, if you feel that there is something that I need to address in the future sessions, because we plan to have these sessions again and again, and we met last time also. So, of course, you can write it to us, write it to me. I will share my email and my phone number after my listening. Now, of course, to this our education, you can write us to us that where else you need to be trained upon. So today it's very general, but it's important to focus upon that. So let me tell you about what is the most spoken language in the world is of course English. But if you talk about the territory, if you talk about the dense population, is the Mandarin Chinese because they are the highest in the population. But whereas if I speak about something which is very widely spoken and spread over, so Mandarin Chinese is concentrated because of the population at one place. But if I talk about the widely spread spoken language, it's English. So if you search on Google, you'll find Mandarin and English. So Mandarin is only because of it's concentrated, because of people or because of population. But when you talk about a widespread language, it's of course English. English is universal, it's global and international. Why do we say that? Why do we say that? That's because a trade, everything is happening through this language. So English, why is English the need of the modern world? It's the world's largest spoken language we just talked about. It's the official language in the 70 countries. And all these 7 countries are responsible. So this when people say you're South Indian, you people say you're Punjabi or you're sometimes they also tag you with your religions. So this is because of the mother tongue influence. Somebody just rightly mentioned that, right? And what is the mother tongue influence? Mother tongue is a language that one learns from our own mothers. That means we've been brought up learning that language. That is our home language. That is a dominant language that we've been hearing right from the birth, right? So the effect of the mother tongue on the second foreign language is also called the mother tongue influence. So do you really think the Americans and the British do not have a mother tongue influence? So now, to make you understand, the accent and the mother tongue influence is just the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing. I have got a mother tongue influence, and the American accent or the British accent, in other terms, can also be called as the mother tongue influence. But the only difference is that that's widely accepted now. And we Indians somehow, because of the diversity of our country, we've not able to form one formal accent. That is why we've been struggling and diversified or asked that, are you from here? Are you from here? Are you from here? So it's the same thing. The Americans, the Britishers, the Indians, they all have accents. They all have mother accents. The only difference is that the English people or the Britishers, their accents been widely accepted. But it is the same thing. That is the mother tongue influence. So why does this happen? Because we grew up speaking our mother tongue. That's been always fall into our ears when we are just born. So speaking comes naturally to us. It's not an acquired skill. It comes naturally to us. How do we learn speaking is just whenever we are born, we start listening, we start hearing any sound that fall into our ears. And when the child starts speaking, have you given him the formal training to speak for whatever language? Did you give him the training to speak Punjabi? Did you give him the training to speak Hindi? Or did you give them training to speak in Malayalam or for any other language? No. The child is too small to understand your learning. But what has happened is it develops naturally among us because this is what we've been hearing all our life or from our childhood. But the only thing is, some people have a heavy mother tongue influence, right? Some people have a very prominent influence, which has been identified by people, right? So today I'm going to unfold how are we going to help remove the mother tongue influence us and become natural or natural English speakers, right? So let's unfold that. So if you have a lot of mother tongue influence, that means you haven't heard enough English. You haven't not you've not spoken enough English. You've not been corrected enough. The question is, what is that influence? How does it influence you? How does it affect you? What are the problems that you face because of the mother tongue influence? Right? So can you just try to type in the chat box that what are the problems that you face because of this? Because not having the neutral accent. Can we just write in the chat box, please, everyone? So, okay, less of vocabulary, of course, not having appropriate vocabulary to ourselves, pronunciation problem, dialect speech, okay, again, vocabulary, communication gap, yes. Of course, fluency, hesitation, low in confidence, shortage of words. So, yeah, we keep translating, of course, that's one important thing, factor. Who are listening, yeah, we keep translating. Accent dominates, yes. That's why people identify where are we from. So whenever we hesitate, that leads to low confidence. Then we cannot stand on the stage and talk. We always feel that there is something not right with us. Of course, a public speaking fear I see. Yeah, what will the other person think? That's the major fear that we have. वो क्या सोचेगा? What will Seema think about me? Or what will Gurmeet think about me? Because of that fear, we stop ourselves and we stop practicing that. So that's a bit becomes a vicious circle and leads to uh, low in confidence. We're not confident, right? So it disrupts the first important influence that I feel is it disrupts the smoothness of the communication. How fluent we are in Hindi, we can continue talking and talking for hours, but in English, if we are not very fluent in that, we will always like to think first, or there is some kind of a calculation and translation happening in the mind. We give a message to our brains that our brain converts them in the other language. And then what happens? There is a problem in the grammar, that we are missing the articles and the sentence is incorrect because we are just simply translating, isn't it? For a simple thing, मेरे पास घड़ी है, right? And if I convert that into my English, I will say I have a watch. So that nobody tells me that. मेरे पास घड़ी है. So now I will just translate that I have watch, which is incorrect, isn't it? So now these are the problems that happens when we're just translating it, isn't it? So this of course disrupts the smoothness of communication. Whatever we are saying, we're always thinking, and there is a, a breakage or a lot of stoppages. For example, I say, I keep, doing this. What's that? I'm trying to translate that in the mind. I'm trying to think before I speak. And of course, that loses the flow. Okay. And of course, misunderstanding. So this is because wrong stress in the word, we're not able to convey what we see. That's only because of this influence that misunderstanding can happen. As I move ahead, I'll give you more examples of kind of a misunderstanding that can happen.
Ma'am, sometimes we fear that other people are will make fun of us.
Yeah, Alka, that is the biggest fear,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So we really have to practice ourselves. So I will help you out to neutralize your accent and do not sound like a sound like a particular region. Actually, we shouldn't be identified because of a region, right? So that's because India has, I don't know how many languages. So it's said every 10 kilometers you go and the language or the accent changes. And we'll be proud for that. But but we need to practice some things that we neutralize our accent, right? So of course, lack of confidence. We feel embarrassed with others. We feel comfortable if we find that the other person's English is okay, okay. Then we start talking. I said, okay, he's also like this. Then we're comfortable. The moment we know that we are going to interact with somebody of a higher order, somebody who has very good English, or a foreigner, or a native speaker, there is where we feel uncomfortable, and that leads to embarrassment and there's fear, stage fear, public speaking, so many other things that falls with that. Inability to speak English properly due to the internalization of the sounds from the mother tongue. Now, I'm going to talk about a lot of sounds today, what you did yesterday also, but I'm going to just focus on those sounds which are in English but not in Hindi. And that is why that sound influence comes when we speak in English.
Excuse me, ma'am. Sometimes
Yeah.
we have words, vocabulary we have, but forget to use the word at right place and right time. This is happening.
Yes, it happens. That's very natural. That's because we're not speaking enough. We're not speaking enough. We're not listening enough. So that is
Ma'am,
why. Sorry.
solution is that whenever solution is that I'm Kavita Monga from DCMC. Um, Solution is that whenever we want to speak in English, firstly we should not think in mother tongue. We always try to think in English only, which will automatically enhance our
Yes, of
English
course.
communication.
Stop talking. Stop thinking in Hindi. Think in English. So it's really said that you talk English. It's you walk English. You think English. Yeah, only then you'll have it. That's happened with your mother tongue also. You're so fluent only because of you're thinking in Hindi, you're talking in Hindi, you're writing in
Yes,
Hindi, everything happening is Hindi. Similarly, if you want the other language to come naturally to us, this is what we are supposed to do, isn't it? Do you agree, everyone? Let me tell you a few of my friends how they speak is so it's like, so I am Yo-Yo Honey Singh. I live in Canada and want a showroom. I want to open a Toyota showroom with the financial support with my dad G. Right? Let's see some other accent. So I am Chintan Chakravarti. I am going to get married to the girl of my dreams because I love her very much. Sarji, I am Bablu Yadav. I am going to fight university elections and promise everyone to give you neat and clean university. Class on time, examination on time, if I win. So, is it something to make fun of them? We do that, isn't it? There's nothing to be making fun of them, only because they have a heavy mother tongue influence. That is so much that each and every word that you speak reflects that. Our influence, the influence of that particular language that you spoke, Punjabi, South Indian, or Haryanvi, or say Malayalam, has a very strong effect on that. Some of us have been able to overcome that, but in some few words, we still reflect that. And the moment that you go to what you speak to a native speaker, they will quickly identify your influence. So basically, what are the characteristics of mother tongue influence? Why does this happen? Is only because of the incorrect articulation. What is articulation? The way we use our jaws, our mouth, our tongue, our palate. Word. So the way we're using our tongue, our jaws and everything, that's called articulation, right? The usage of these things when we speak. Wrong pronunciation and incorrect stress and intonation. Let's see how we can improve that. Any questions? Anybody wants to say something here, please? You're free to do that. So let's talk about some sounds in English, but not in Hindi. When you look at these words, they look, oh, they're all in Hindi, but they aren't. Let's see how. The first one is set. So it is not set, sir, sir. The first sound is s, eh, t. So it's not a t, it's t. These are not in Hindi. It is Hindi in t, tomato, but in English, it's t. Then cat. So it's not ka at, it's not k, it's k. Like you do kapal. Let's look at some common sound errors that we see actually. Okay. So the first error that we have because of the accents, because of the different diction, because of the different origin, the region effect that we have in a language is the first one, which is s and sh, isn't it? Isn't that very, very popular problem that you see with a lot of people?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. As my name is Shilpi, and some of the people, I mean, like when I was in class 1, and when I was in Assam, they used to call me Silpi, and Bengali people, they used to call me Sholpi. So
you know, that's because the Bengalis, that they round their mouths too much. So you have that. That's why people identify you. Where are you from? You were able to tell me, Shilpi, that a South Indian is calling you this and a Bengali is calling you this. So now, when we practice those sounds or those words in standalone, now we can do it in a sentence. For that, we do a lot of tongue twisters, and believe me, it's very old method, but it does help. It improves your sound. Yeah.
Sally sells seashells.
Sally sells
Sally
shells.
Seashells.
Let's do it slowly, slowly.
Sally
Sally
sells
sells seashells.
Shells.
Sally
Sally
sells
sells
seashells.
Sally
Sally sells seashells.
Sally sells. Now faster. Now faster. Sally sells seashells. Sally sells seashells. Sally sells Try. Very, very fast than me. Want to try? Sally sells
Seashells. Sally sells seashells. Sally sells seashells. Sally sells seashells. Sally sells seashells. Sally sells seashells. Sally sells seashells. Sally
Wonderful,
sells.
Rabjeet. With
Yes,
practice,
thanks, ma'am.
you'll become fluent and you'll become faster. Great. Ritu Bansal, can unmute yourself.
Yeah,
and say
please, ma'am.
this.
Sally sells seashells. Sally sells she sells.
See,
Sally
you
sells
gone wrong.
she sells. Yeah, I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm checking
It
out.
happens.
Yeah.
It's very natural. There's nothing wrong in this. So
But
Sally
it's great,
sells
ma'am.
seashells. Sally sells seashells. Sally sells seashells. Right?
Sally
So
sells seashells. Sally sells
okay, so
seashells.
we add something to it. It's not that simple, isn't it? Now what? Sally sells seashells by the seashore. So now the second sound is the sound of W. So now here the mouth position is going to be like a kissing mouth. W. W. Isn't it? And the first one, when I talked about the V sound, what was it? V. So you're resting your upper teeth on your lower lip. So it's V. 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 So you purse your lip, you're making a kissing mouth, or you can call it a small circle that you're making when you're saying W. 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 Now, the common thing that you will see some people calling water. What happened? Isn't it? So, why? Because they're using the V wala sound to say W wala sound. Whereas, if it is a kissing mouth and you have the correct position, you will not face a problem, which is W. W. Water. Watch. Where. Wind. अब इसी sound को इन्हीं words को if you say it with we, what will happen? It'll be like watch, water, wind, isn't it? So that's an important. These are two very important sounds for everyone. So always watch the movement and we'll repeat after me when I do this. So let's practice this. Now, when we practice this, remember our mouth position for saying we and for saying W. Okay, so let's practice that. It's very well.
Well. Very well. Very well.
Very well.
Very
Very
well.
well.
Very well. Very well. Very well. Very well. Very well. Very well.
Very well.
Very
Very well.
Very well. Very well. Very very well.
Very well.
Okay. So the next one.
Went.
Went, 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 okay, another one. Win, 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 Next one.
Worst.
Slowly. Burst. You just have to be conscious, that's it. Let's practice a tongue twister now. This is an easy one. We view walking as very whimsical. So now, focus on your mouth movement. So we view walking as very whimsical.
We view walking as very whimsical.
Okay? Another important problem that we have with this sound, which is a j sound. Now, this sound j is a combination of z and sh. It's a combination of two sounds, which is z and sh. So it is j. It is j. Let me show you. Now tell me if you can see. Can you see this? See how is it going? The air coming out of the mouth. Can you see, teachers? Just show me
Yes,
a thumbs up.
ma'am.
If you
Yes,
can.
ma'am.
Okay, so I'll play it again for you. A quick
Yes.
one again. Once again. Yeah, correct. It's photograph. So the stress on this is the first syllable. It's photographer. It's photographic. It's photographic. Or not? Tell me, what is it? Right. So the first one is photograph, photographer, and photographic is the correct pronunciation. Now, I'm going to help you today to also help you with putting the correct stress at every place. Let me just try and change my slide. Here it goes. We were talking about the word stresses. Now, every word has some parts in it. In other language or in other terms, we call it syllables, right? So a word has different parts, like photographer, right? Okay, let's find out how many parts we have in our word. So I'm Shifali. I've got 3 parts. Shifali. Everybody just try and break your own name into different parts. So
Like-
Kavita, it's Kavita.
My name is Vanshika, ma'am. Vanshika.
So you've got 3 parts.
Yeah.
Now these parts, you will realize that all these parts all have one vowel sound, right? So each part that has a vowel sound, we call them syllables. We call them syllables. We do not say each syllable with the same force. हम कोई भी word बोलते हैं, so सारे syllables का same force नहीं होता. It's shifali, right? So I am giving a stress in the end, maybe. So we do not say each syllable with the same force and strength. In one word, we accentuate one syllable. We accentuate one syllable in each word. So we say one syllable very loudly, big, strong, and loud, and the other syllables quietly. तभी तो stress पता चलेगा, otherwise we will not able to find out the stress. So remember, one word has only one stress, and you only stress the vowels, you do not stress the consonants. Okay? The stress is on the first syllable, where in nouns. Some examples that we have are present, export, China. So can you see my first syllables are stressed in these. So when there's a 2-syllable word and it's a noun, you will have the stress on the first syllable. Okay. And when it's an adjective, then also you will have the stress on the first syllable. So an adjective with 2 syllables, stress on the first one. So the noun and the adjectives go the same way. There's a stress on the first syllable. Present, slender, clever, happy. So the first part is stressed and the other part is little silent. No, I will not say silent, but it's quiet. So let's see some words that has a stress on the last syllable. Those are verbs, isn't it? So it's when we say the same word, but we just said present, it's present. Okay, can you see the difference? Export, decide, begin. Can you see the difference of how I am saying it now? Let's have a look at some more examples. Nouns have this stress syllable. The first one is the first syllable, and in the verbs, it is the second part. Got it? So, so again, let us just practice that. Nouns and verbs. The second column that you see here is, let's say it with the changing the stress. They're the same words. In nouns, it's present. In verbs, it's present. In nouns is export, and in verbs is export. And in nouns, it's contract, and here it's contract. And the next noun is object, and here is object. Can you see how my stress is changing in the words? And this stress that has changed, and English is a time-stressed language. It's timed. That means आपको stress, where you have to give the stress in the first syllable, second, and the third, and the fourth. So English is a time-stressed language. So that is why our stresses have to be really practiced. A stress on the penultimate syllable, which is second from the last. So words ending in ik, you have the stress on the penultimate syllable. That means second from the last. So it's graphic. So it's geographic. And then it's geologic and Atlantic. And in the words that ends with shun or shun, S-I-O-N or T-I-O, again, it's on the penultimate syllable, the second from the last, which is, it's television, revelation, attention, dedication, transformation. Got it? Then we come to the words ending with CY, TY, GY, PHY, or AL. The stress is on the anti-penultimate syllable. So the stress is on the anti-penultimate syllable. That means third from the last. So in accountancy, how many syllables can you hear? Accountancy. Now, sometimes for the longer words, if you can't find out how many syllables, put your hand under your chin and say the word. Say also your name. So number of times your chin touches your hand, you have the number of syllables there. So she, fa, li. So I've got 3 syllables. So ka, vi, ta. One, she, ka. You've got 3 syllables. Bi, ka. You have 3 syllables. Right? So if you're not able to find out, this is the way that you can find out. So for the accountancy, it's accountancy, sincerity, inspirational, hypothetical, democracy, photography. So it's not democracy, that's why. Democracy mein you're not putting the stress in the right syllable. It's democracy. Okay, that's the right pronunciation. So pronunciation, आपको कैसे पता चलेगा? Find out the stress in the word and practice that. In your dictionaries, you will see that. Download the audio dictionaries also, of course, in your phones. I'm sure most of you must have, but use the audio and practice it. That'd be really helpful. So Merriam-Webster is one dictionary that I suggest people. It's Merriam-Webster that you must have in your phones, so that wherever you find that you need to check your pronunciation, you're going for a presentation, you're going for a speech, you're going for a public speaking, speaking, you're going for a role play, you're doing any activity on the stage, and you feel that this word, I don't know. Go check out that. Coming back to again the stress words ending in us. Where do you stress? The stress is on the first syllables. Okay, it's monstrous, famous, gracious, gorgeous, joyous. The stress on the first syllable. So English words ending with us, but they are more than 2 syllables. They are 4 syllables. Then where will you stress? On the second one. Second one from the left. Anonymous, carnivorous, luxurious, hilarious, continuous, and conspicuous. Now the compound words. Now what are compound words? When we join 2 words together and when we make a new word, that's a compound word, right? So a word like blackbird, it's a compound noun. Okay, so 2 nouns are together. So 2 noun words together make a compound word, right? So there are 2 parts to it. Black bird. Now in a compound word, the 2 words have 2 parts. We divide it into 2 parts. So it's how do we stress on the first part in the compound nouns, which is blackbird. What is it? Blackbird, greenhouse, sugarcane, beetroot, newspaper. And then you've got for verbs and adjectives, which is wholehearted. Okay, so there are adjectives. So in the compound verbs or compound adjectives, the stress is going to be in the second part. So wholehearted, bad-tempered, old-fashioned, overtake, understand, green-fingered. Okay, अब जब भी बोलती हो ना कि बड़ा accent मारता है, so the person is not marring an accent on you, but he's using the right word stress, and you can also marrow that accent anytime if you know the right word stress. Now now I was talking about the stress in a word. There's a stress in a sentence also, and that stress in the sentences is the music of the spoken language. Right? Let's see. I shared this in my last session also, for a quick one for the new ones that we have. One sentence can have different meanings, right? A simple sentence, I never said he ate the chocolate, can have stress on different words and they mean differently. So the first one is, I never said he ate the chocolate. Kaise bolenge? The stress is on I. I never said he ate your chocolate. Someone else did maybe. So kaise bolenge? I never said he ate your chocolate. Now the stress is on never. What will I do? I never said he ate your chocolate. That's not true at all, it means. I never said he ate your chocolate. I only thought maybe. Okay? I never said he ate your chocolate. Someone else ate it. I never said he ate your chocolate. Maybe he just tasted. I never said he ate your chocolate. It was not yours. Somebody else's, I said. I never said he ate your chocolate.
Your chocolate, yes.
Maybe he's eaten a pie or something else.
Yes.
So now one same sentence can have so many different meanings depending on the stress we put. So in English, we put stress on the content words. Some words that we want to highlight or have an effect on the listener, we stress on that word. That's called the content stress. Let's come to the intonation. I covered this in a little bit of my last session also, but I'm doing it again because it's important, an important part to neutralize your mother tongue influence. The rise and the fall in the voice in speaking is your intonation, right? So you've got the rising intonation, you've got falling intonation, you've got fall and rise intonation. Let's see how it happens in our sentence. When there's a WH questions, it is a falling intonation. For example, in the end, it goes down. Where is the post office? What time does the movie start? Who is your favorite actor? When are you leaving? How old is your daughter? So it is a falling intonation in WH questions. But in your yes or no question, what are yes or no questions? To explain you that? Yes or no question?
Yes or no only.
Yeah, of course, Namrata. So the answer is always in the yes or no. So
Yes
when there's
or
a
no.
yes or no question, then what do you say? Then is a rising intonation in the end. Do you like vanilla ice cream? Did you go to the concert? Do they smoke? Has the party started? Have you driven before? So the end is rising, you will see. Because if you say the complete sentence in a very monotonous way, with no stress, with no intonation, you will not be heard. People will not listen to what you're saying. And you're going to sound monotonous, right? So to be audible, to pay it, to give attention to the other's ears, people listen to you, you need to have intonation, the rise and the fall, and you must know how to do that. So we had the rise and fall intonation. When we're making list, or we're talking about many options, right? So the first word will rise and the last word will fall. I want burger, sandwich, and coke. I like birds, cats, and dogs. The test was long, scary, and difficult. Right? In questions also where there are options, do you want blue or red? Where are Tommy, Sally, and Jenny? So if you see, there's a rise and the fall intonation. So when there are options, when there are list, then the first word rises and the last word falls. Any questions here? Okay. So now let's come to the main point that, of course, this will help us to remove our mother tongue influence. But what else can you all do to remove that mother tongue influence? Is one thing that I suggest is listen. You should, like I said earlier, if you have a heavy mother influence, that means you haven't heard enough. You need to have a lot of listening practice, right? So watch less and listen more. That's going to help you. Now, don't think that I don't have a mother tongue influence. We all have. Every now and then I practice a few sounds because I fumble whenever I'm speaking in a sentence or for a longer time. So we all have so we all have that touch, less or more, it can be, there is an influence. So wherever we are, we might, on a graph of 1 to 10, in speaking good English, we might be at 9, 10 speaking good English. But we might be at 8 or 9. So to reach that 10, or to improve, or to remain constant, or to stay there as a good speaker, you need to do something. What you can do is listen. So when you're in your car, when you're driving, listen to an English radio channel. And when you hear the radio jockey, you will really pick up those words, how she's using those words. Because those words, that's a daily conversation that he or she, takes on. Listen to the English FM. Whatever radio channel is playing in your area, I suggest watch Hit FM, which is 95 megahertz. Listen to Radio 1, which is 94.3 megahertz. So that will really help you. And then you've got the second thing that you have to do is the podcasts. Listen to the podcast. There are a lot of podcasts available on Spotify, available on Ghana.com, available in a lot of places. What are podcasts? Podcasts are podcasts that are recorded, and they are available on YouTube. So you can listen to them. What are podcasts? Podcasts are podcasts that are available in a lot of places. What are podcasts? Podcasts are podcasts that are available in a lot of places. What are podcasts? Podcasts are podcasts that are available in a lot of places. What are podcasts?
Available on Wink also.
Sorry?
Available on Wink also podcasts. Wink.
Yes, on Wing also. Yeah. So there are a lot of podcasts. Listen to podcast is basically in audios in series. That's a podcast. Yeah, so listen to
Yesterday I started listening Mahabharat podcast and it was very good, interesting. Mahabharat.
wonderful, wonderful. So that's a very good idea. You must listen to the podcast. You're cooking, you're driving, whatever you do, you can always give your ears to that. Our podcasts, play a good radio channel. They've got lovely radio jockeys in English channels. Listen to them. English music. I just love telling my audience, listen to the English music. English music really helps you improve your pronunciation. It really helps. Believe me, it's a tried and tested method. It will work wonders. Start listening to English music. Start with simple songs, simple lyrics, not too fast, and then you can gradually move on to because these days we listen to all kind of music. We're listening to Haryanvi, we're listening to Bhojpuri, we're dancing to Bhojpuri songs, we're listening to English music. So we are listening to a lot of um, different languages. So please listen to English songs and pause it and you sing along or repeat after the person or the lady. Listen to the news. Okay, listen to the BBC or CNN. Do not listen to Aaj Tak or anything. But and have a mentor, please. Please have a mentor. You feel this person speaks really very well English. Listen to those. Watch Oprah Winfrey show. That's wonderful. She speaks so well and she's so clear that you'll fall in love with how she speaks. It's Oprah Winfrey show. Listen to English songs. I have this list because they're very simple ones and easy to sing along. If you want, you can take a picture of them and start listening to these ones first because these are all almost the famous ones. So we've got Lady Gaga, we've got Ed Sheeran, we've got Justin Bieber, we've got Bruno Mars. Listen to this. This will really help you, right? Let me play one for you. Can you see this, everyone? This purple screen. Can you see everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's enjoy this music for 2
Yes,
minutes.
ma'am.
Okay. Two rules I counted. So you have to stop it, sing along, first sing along, and then stop it, sing after that. You're automatically going to get a lovely, the way you try to copy. That's not how we do it in Hindi also. So we have the same pronunciation, same way the song is sung. Thank you for listening this, but I assure you this is really going to help you. And all of you are mothers or parents, try and listen to these. I don't say any particular, but listen to English songs because they automatically grasp uh, those the way they are being sung. Actually, it's really going to improve their English. And while I'm talking this, I also talk about reading aloud. So when you're reading aloud, you can read aloud anything that you want to read. You don't read a newspaper. Just pick up a little part of it and start reading loud. Right? Read a magazine, read a script of any of your favorite show, watch any favorite show. For example, if I pick up just a little article from a magazine, whatever I like, I start reading it loud. Sometimes I can record that too. Whatever I'm saying, read loud. Whatever I'm reading aloud, record that, and listen to it later. That would really improve. Watch films or any series on your Fire Stick, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever you like. There are a lot of series available. Pick up any one and start watching it. I suggest start watching Friends. That's really hilarious. If you've not watched, uh, watch a movie Forrest Gump, Jurassic World, Top Gun. There's so many movies that you can watch. And initially, when you're watching English movies, you can switch on the subtitles, and then gradually start stopping it. You'll get a hang of it, right? Join a cooking course, join a book club. A lot of book clubs happening online. Practice your tongue twisters. join an online class or a club. And whenever you're speaking, teachers, my friends, I would suggest whenever you're practicing before into the stage or any presentation or you're doing any public appearance, look at yourself in the mirror and talk before that. It worked for me. It'll work for you. Believe me, it will. So look at yourself in the mirror and talk, whatever you want to say. So you feel elated. You feel good when you look at yourself in the mirror. How you're talking. Use your washroom time for that. I'm sure everybody has a mirror in the bathrooms, right? So use that time to look at yourself. I said about improving our English or the way we speak actually. Um, we have a lovely thing which is called Sensation English. This is a product that we've collaborated with, the SAR Education has collaborated with this product, which is Sensation English. This is in UK, and this is a product. This is an online platform where you can learn all this, whatever I've said right now, through this software. I would say it's online. So you're learning English through news. This is a great resource for your school, students, and of course teachers. The school can have it as a complete for the complete school, all the children. So it's a real world resource. Everything that you get is through it's a real life or the real news that is available. So everything is available. So you get, so it's not that it will never get outdated. It will not get over. It will never get over. So you get 2 weekly content uploaded, 2 new news videos uploaded, and 1 new article. So every week you have 3 news uploaded of around the world. There are different themes and topics linked to different common curricula. There are real world situations graded to support and engage. And there are a lot of activities and study tools. So you have also have reading tool. जैसे वहां पे line बोली गई है, the way they are saying it, you repeat it, you record it, the software will play it back to you. So you have a fresh content. So for example, there are content like this available. You have to choose. You want to listen to a content which is of innovation, culture, lifestyle, community, hard news, business and money, natural world. So there are so many of them available. So you have to choose anything. And this you can use it for children from grade 4th onwards. Till you're applying for your visa, you want to try for your IELTS, TOEFL, any of your examinations to go abroad. So this Sensation English would really help you to practice that. So we are practicing all the LSRW, which is learning, speaking, reading, and writing through this actually. So everything is available. So we also give a trial link to you. So write back to me. I will send you a trial link to for 7 days. It's a trial for 7 days. Try that and see how it can help you. All the news have a human angle to all content. Each and every news that you see here is all this news are at different CFR levels, starting from A1 to C1. Same news, you can hear it at the A1 level, which is the basic beginner level, or to the advanced level, same news. So in that case, what will happen is it becomes slow when it is lower level. The vocabulary is simpler. As you go to the next level, there's a different level to it. So we can send you the link for that. The theme, and there are 33 topics related to your curriculum: community, culture, entertainment, hard news, innovation, lifestyle, and natural world. These are the 7 themes that we have. And every theme has there are 3 news videos uploaded every week for you to learn. So you learn English and you learn about your general knowledge, whatever happening is in the world, because nobody wants to read the newspaper these days. But you can watch this, learn English, improve your LSRW. So for every video, you've got a listening, speaking, reading, and writing activity. And they're all based on the real world situations, the students' interest. And of course, we're talking about I will not spend time on the Bloom's taxonomy here. So we are doing all the grammar, punctuation, and vocabulary, listening, reading, speaking, and writing here. So you have a 7 days trial also. For more information, you can contact us.